One Piece fans are already turning on Emu, just 3 chapters after his reveal, and the reason is frankly stupid. Let me paint you the picture. The community collectively popped when Arona Emu's design was revealed, except a few shards that really wanted it to be a goth baddie. Like, I wouldn't have complained if it turned out that way, but at the same time, do you all really need to have a meltdown because it didn't? What I'm saying is, a large majority of fans loved the design. In the next chapter, it only got better. The full design is just magnificent. And then he just speed blitzed the Citizen of Hell and Commoner's leg. Like, bro, do you have to embarrass the main cast like that? But then an actual goat stepped up. The Cursed Prince himself. The second hardest design in Elbaf after Emu, Loki. He rightfully blames Emu for the death of his dad. Though he was only 144, he died way too soon is a crazy sentence. I know they live long, but 140 years is plenty of time to do stuff. But Emu claims he was the one who suffered the most in that situation. Oh, playing the victim I see. Reminds me of our own world leaders. Then the talking stops, and after blocking Loki's attack, Emu lands a nasty piercing attack. That's just too cold. Wait, is that a sword? But unlike the foot soldier of science, Loki gets back up again and says he ain't gonna be dominated by anyone. Are you sure, bro? Not even by her?
Man, shut your bitch.
And now to the panel that made a lot of fans turn on Emu. Only took y'all 3 weeks. He claims the world is better off in a state of dominion. Then suddenly he gets a flashback about his boyfriend from 800 years ago. Sorry, I meant mortal enemy, which triggers something. He suddenly screams, "Isn't that right, Joy Boy?" Joy Boy really must have been annoying. Bro still fuming after 800 years. As you might have guessed, the face he makes here is what got people disappointed. Let's read some comments, shall we? Bro lost all the aura he had. What did he do to my boy Emu? Oda, 2 chapters after showing the literal demon of the show. Okay, that one is funny. But this notion that a villain needs to be completely nonchalant at all times to be intimidating or have aura is just BS to me. First of all, Emu has seemingly isolated himself for nearly a millennium, obsessing over his crush and op that both died 800 years ago. Does this seem like a mentally stable guy to you? It wouldn't make sense for him to be a completely calm and collected, nonchalant king. The fact that he's losing his mind and screaming at the sky actually makes him scarier to me. He's still enraged about Joy Boy after all this time, to the point he starts screaming in a public lobby. How is a stone face scarier than that? Having aura doesn't mean you have the personality of a brick wall. Just look at Kaido or Enel. When things don't go their way, they make the most unhinged faces in the series, and they are still top tier villains. If you want a completely stoic villain, you will probably have to go back to Das Bones. In Alabasta, bro genuinely stayed stoic 99.9% of the time. Even Katakuri has a far more goofy side to him than Emu has shown this far, and he's still revered as one of the best antagonists in the show. You guys have to chill. Emu isn't cooked because he showed emotion one time. Just take a look at what happens next in the chapter. Loki basically blasts him to hell with an attack that likely would have made some top tiers crippled, and Arona just brushes it off and smiles. That's what I call intimidating. Also, can we talk about entitlement? This guy thinks he's a god. I can't blame him, I would too if I looked like that. Yet, he's out there getting triggered by a name. It makes the conflict personal. I'd much rather have a villain who's genuinely crashing out because of his trauma than some boring, stoic final boss who feels nothing. I used to think Blackbeard would be a way better final villain than Emu, because he was a dimensional character, unlike Emu at the time. He has a real philosophy that challenges Luffy's worldview. Meanwhile, Emu was just a silhouette in a garden with a hard-on for blowing people to bits. It was like he was the final boss by default, and that felt kind of boring. Now that we got this fire design for him and proof that he isn't completely one-dimensional, I wouldn't complain if he turned out to be the final obstacle. Luckily, many in the community have realized this, and there are a lot of people echoing my sentiment, which is nice to see. I just needed to address the people that think the opposite. I feel like the popularity of the word aura has melted people's brains in a way. It's like if a character isn't standing perfectly still with a shadow over their eyes, people think they're washed. If every villain was just a stoic statue, this series would have ended before it even started. I love One Piece because the characters feel like people, and people, even immortal demon kings, get triggered sometimes. But these are just my opinions. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. And sorry for the short video, by the way. I'll make sure to make a longer one next week. Emu told me that if you watch this video on screen, he'll let you become his right-hand man. I wouldn't pass on that opportunity.